Whoa, girl, is there some Apple news we got out there? Let's take a look.
So what are you waiting for? If you're excited for today's video, drop a like down below. It seriously helps me and the channel out. And click that subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications so that you never miss a beat. Yo guys, what's up? Sam here. Welcome back to another episode. We are talking M1X MacBook Pro, when it's actually coming, new details about the redesigned iPad mini, but we're actually starting off today on kind of a weird note. Not weird like the new episode of Genius Bar that just dropped with Luke Miani. It was like a 2-hour episode, craziest it's ever gotten. You guys gotta check it out, link is down below. I'm talking wet and wild. I'm talking out of this world. I'm talking Apple employees not wanting to do their jobs, apparently. So obviously when the pandemic started, everybody went to work from home because we were like, we're all gonna die if we're in the office together, and to be safe and to make everybody not die, we were like, let's just have everybody work from home. And for a while that was great, like temporarily. I think that was an excellent solution and a good call on Apple's leadership. So as a few weeks ago when we thought the pandemic was beginning to ease, Apple said, hey, starting September, we're gonna do a hybrid work plan before we get everybody back. You'll just have to be in the office 3 days a week, just 3 days a week at our $4 billion campus that not only has a custom pizza box, but that is also beautiful. As somebody who's not an Apple employee looking in, I was like, wow, that sounds pretty realistic. Okay, let's move on. That's the end of the story, right? No, apparently that just wasn't good enough for some employees. They're sending out these petitions and these internal letters to Apple say that they feel like they haven't been heard, and I'm like, bruh, it was only 3 days a week. Like, are you guys kidding me? Also, sorry for the noise, but I'm traveling right now. The pandemic was ending, and Apple said, September, you're gonna have to be here. And then it turns out Apple actually gave in. Not, I don't think, to the people that were asking, but because COVID started to get a little rough, Apple delayed the hybrid return of mandatory 3 days a week at Apple Park in the office until October, which would be after the iPhone event, leading to some speculation that maybe the iPhone event will again be digital this year with a limited number of people in person. The reason I bring this up is to say that while I think work from home is great for some companies and it's led to greater efficiency and better products from some, I don't think that's the way that an Apple or a Microsoft or a Google works the best. Just look at Apple's product releases. They've been all over the place. We're seeing April events that we've never seen before. You can tell they are scrambling to make their regular business happen. In general, the energy at Apple has been different in the past year, and I hope that Apple doesn't just say, okay, keep working from home, because I do think that would have a super negative impact on the company's culture. So just my 2 cents I wanted to throw in there. Obviously, I'm not an employee. Maybe I'd feel different, but as a spectator, as somebody who really cares about the company and covers it for a living, number one, 3 days a week is not too much to ask. Number two, I think all the employees should be back in the office full time, because that's how the truly best products are created. You can't create an iPhone over Zoom. You might be wondering why I'm in the shower. Well, it's because it's summertime. It's hot as hell outside, and VPN just started their summer sale. You guys know that VPNs help you stay safer and more anonymous online, and there's a reason I use VPN instead of everybody else. The guys over at VPN are a group of industry veterans that left all the other VPN companies doing sketchy stuff with your data in order to make a product that not only gets better every week, but that also cares about you. On top of that, VPN allows you to unblock content on now more than 350 streaming services around the world, meaning you can watch shows that aren't usually available in your area. I've used this and it's so cool. And right now there's a crazy deal happening. The summer sale is live, which means that for a limited time you can get 74% off and 3 months of free service when you purchase a 2-year plan. That's just $2.59 a month, and on top of that, when you use code iupdate, you get an additional 10% off. Listen, there's a reason that I continue to work with VPN each and every single week, and it's because I use it and I believe in it. If you guys like what I do here on YouTube, then head over to wevpn.com/iupdate and get started today. Now, apparently something else that Apple could create during the Rona time is a new iPad mini. I mean, this thing is so out of the blue, I don't get it. Essentially, overnight, we went from the iPad mini is dead, it's never getting touched again, and rumors suggesting that, to we are getting the biggest design and even a first look from my boy John Prosser and renders by Ian. I mean, not only does this thing look incredible, it's essentially just a mini version of the iPad Pro, which is essentially a mini version of the iPad Air. And just a couple days ago, we got a fresh report support from the pals over at 9 to 5 Mac. They have not dropped an exclusive in so long. It feels great to have them back in the arena. And 9 to 5 Mac had some real interesting tidbits. First of all, an A15 processor, which if you guys are counting along at home, isn't out yet. So the A15 isn't out, and they say specifically emphatic, what is that word that means they're saying it for sure? Which, if this is true, means that the new iPhone 13 lineup across the board and this iPad mini is going to have an A15 chip. So it's going to be insanely powerful. It'll be more powerful than the iPad Air that came out last year. I just am surprised because, again, the iPad mini wasn't cared about for so long. But oh boy, hold on to your britches for this one. We're getting USB-C on this iPad mini. This is such great news because rumors previously said the next iPad mini would continue to have Lightning, which would mean that only the iPad Air and the iPad Pro had USB-C. But this will mark the third iOS-powered product from Apple. So iPad Pro, iPad Air, and now iPad mini that will have USB-C. I mean, this is huge news. Listen, as many Apple products as we can see a universal port on versus an Apple proprietary port is a win for absolutely everybody. And I think it's a win for Apple's bottom line as well. I'm talking about general customer happiness, not dollars in the bank or selling these rights to use Lightning through the MFI program. I mean, these are all things that are just complete BS, and it's such an outdated way to do business. But you know, they gotta have some Apple proprietariness on here, so they're gonna throw a smart connector on here as well, which suggests that there's gonna be a keyboard and some other accessories. I mean, potentially a mini magic keyboard or smart keyboard for this iPad mini, which we know it's going to have a bigger screen, about 8.5 to 9 inches, but still, that's pretty tiny for a keyboard. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't interested, but this is starting to sound pretty compelling and definitely an iPad that could be more mass market than I thought. I was like, this is the last iPad mini, nobody's going to care about it, but now with all these advancements, this could be the iPad mini that would be best for so many people simply because it'll be the cheapest iPad you can get with a USB-C port. And speaking of things we can get our hands on, where is this MacBook Pro, Tim? Tim, where's my MacBook Pro? Dad, send me the MacBook Pro. But we have some good news. I was beginning to worry that this MacBook Pro was donezo for 2021, that Apple had delayed it due to the mini LED shortage until next year, maybe late in the year. But according to our best pal, Mark Gurman, he says it is not. He says this MacBook is coming at November at the latest, suggesting a September, October, or November launch. Now listen, this has been echoed by many people saying the MacBook Pros go into production in August and that they have already been testing out things to make these finally happen. But after them not coming at WWDC, it was just fall. I mean, this is still a fall time frame, but before December, which means we are at most around 4 months away, a little bit less than that actually. These M1X MacBook Pros, they are coming. They made a decision to use these mini LED displays, which is the same display they put on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and guess what? They're in super short display. That's not what I meant to say. The supply has been absolutely borked to oblivion, and if Apple can't produce it for this niche 12.9-inch mini LED iPad Pro, imagine producing thousands, hundreds of thousands of them, millions of them for the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros, the pinnacle of Apple computing. The thing that most people know Apple for is the MacBook Pro. It's certainly what got me into the Mac in the first place. So we're getting close to here. We're getting close to Apple's fall events, and I think I'm going to do a video telling you what to expect from each of the events this fall soon. So stay tuned for that. Drop a like if you enjoyed this one. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. Listen, I've been Sam. If you guys are watching this right now, I'm in Chicago visiting. So if you guys see me up in Chicago, say, hey, I'm visiting a friend. So yeah, that's all for this. I hate when people say so yeah. It's just like filler. So no. That's what I'm gonna start saying. So no. Anyway, guys, have a good video. Have a good time. I'm gonna go. Goodbye.